We are practitioners of this thing since 1986 from the high institution. Tithe of pocket money. I'm not telling you what I was taught. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be a pastor. I saw it in scripture. 13 naira was what was given to me a month. 3 naira was tithe. It has continued ceaselessly till tomorrow. Until when me and my wife married, she was tithing food. That is bag of rice. She will remove 1/10 out of it and give it out. One day we had the rice that couldn't finish. The more you fetched it, the more it continued. She became afraid at the end and dashed out the balance. What kind of food is this that will not finish? That was how rugged. We were not pastors then. 2 tiny young doctors. That was how we lived our lives. And when a man has evidence, he's not at the mercy of one who has argument.
Boundary of knowledge that the entire scriptures are centered on the revelation of the Christ. It's not a money-making book. It's not a money-making book. He came to save his people from their sins. You can make money whether you have Jesus or not. You can make mad money whether you know Jesus or not. I just came back from Doha. Go and see. It's an Islamic country. Go and see. Go to Dubai and see. Your country, every Friday night is starting out across the nation. You don't have roads. Uyo to Calabar is fasting and prayer. You used to drive it. The number of tithers in Nigeria should have been the wealthiest nation on earth if tithing was God's device for prosperity. There are some fathers who paid tithe till they died. At their death, there was no money to buy coffin for them. But they paid tithe all their lives. Leave that in. I mean, my own is working for me. Is God a partial God? Why should your own work for you and that old man who is dying now without the hope of a coffin for his burial, but he has been paying tithe from a young boy? Nothing has worked for him. Why will God select to bless you and leave him alone? Is God responsible for class in society? Then if God is responsible for the poor and rich, he must be a wicked God. Then he doesn't really love the world like he says he does. Because if he really loves the world, if he is responsible for one man to be rich, then he should be responsible for every man to be rich. Leave that in. When we speak to you, calm down and listen. We know what we are talking about.
Please, I want you to understand that God is not looking for who to use. He's looking for who to raise. If you think your tithe or your offering or your first fruit or anything like that is too much to give, keep it. I beg you, keep it. If your heart is shaking to give it, keep it. If you are doubting what it will be used for, keep it. You know, it is not everybody that can talk to you like this. Those looking for your money will beg you to bring it. Even if you steal to bring it, they'll say, go and steal and bring it. Not here. If your heart is shaking to give it, leave it. Because you will be shocked that God can do everything he wants to do without a dime from you. God can never be stranded. And God is not looking for who to use. Don't forget it. He's looking for who to raise. He is not trying to see what he can collect from you. He's trying to see what he can release to you. Your release to God is the point of contact of your receiving from God.
This is very shameful, honestly, very shameful and painful that a preacher will cook lie just to make people to be comfortable, make people to believe that tithing is working. That is why a preacher will go to the pulpit and cook lie how his rice was increasing. The rice refused to finish because of tithing. Hello, that rice that refused to finish because you guys were tithing. Pastor Paul and nature, sir, with all due respect. Hello, sir. I think this is manipulation for me. This is fraud. This is scam. This story is confirmed fabricated story, sir. Yes, sir. It's confirmed fabricated story. You don't tell people this kind of story just because you want to collect money. You don't tell people this kind of manipulation because you don't need to lie against God. You don't lie against God. We believe that God can do miracle, of course. We believe that God can change story of men, of course. But must everything be attached to tithing? You have to cook this story and say your rice refused to finish because you tithe. Because you and your wife were tithing, even tithing food. Meaning your members should start tithing food.